This is the amount I managed to earn and withdraw over the past month using a simple strategy. Now, I will show you step by step how I apply this strategy. I will show all the indicators I use. Let me say right away, they are completely free. So watch the video from start to finish and I'll switch to screen recording. I start by setting up the broker's website. I've already logged into my trading account, and at the beginning, I set up a candlestick chart and choose 30-second candles. Then I add an indicator called SAR to the chart. I use the standard settings, which means the ones that are automatically set when the indicator is added. The only thing I change is the style. I adjust the color of the indicator and make it slightly thicker. That's it. With this, I finish setting up the broker. Then I open a site called Investing. I enter the corresponding query in Google. I go to the site investing.com. Here, I don't even log into my account. I just open the Economic Calendar tab right away and see what news will be released soon. So I see that there won't be any news in the near future. The next news will only be in half an hour. Accordingly, I do not enter trades at the time of news release to avoid unnecessary volatility. And now I have exactly 28 minutes before the next news release. And during these 28 minutes, I can conduct my trading session. Great. In that case, I open the TradingView website. The main indicators are already located on this site. I enter the corresponding request and go to the website TradingView.com. On this site, I am already logged into my account and I have not purchased anything here. So I am using the free version of my account here. Here I open the main page of this website. Being already logged into my account, I open the Products tab and here I go to the Super Charts. After that, let's change the chart a little bit so that it opens. Then I start setting up my workspace here. So what am I doing on the TradingView site? I always remove all indicators from the chart. I do this so that I can add the necessary indicators. The thing is, on TradingView, if I use the free version of the account, I can add no more than 2 indicators to the chart. And exactly these 2 slots are what I will need in order to work, meaning I will add 2 indicators. Then here on the TradingView website, I set up a 1-minute candlestick time frame precisely for the signal indicator to receive 1-minute signals. And now I am slowly starting to add indicators. Let me start with the main signal indicator and explain how it works. I add it from my favorites, but if you need this indicator, I will leave its name in a pinned comment just in case. From there, you can easily copy it and also find it on TradingView. So what changed after I added the indicator is that signals appeared, and there was some small statistics. In these statistics, you can see how many signals appeared on this chart recently and what their average win rate is. Here, we see that on this particular chart, over the recent period, a little more than 5,000 signals have emerged, with an average win rate of about 74%, which is quite a decent indicator. Now about how the indicator itself works. It gives signals. There are 2 types of signals, a signal for a down trade and a signal for an up trade. So how do these signals appear? They appear with a new candle. So right now we see that a candle is open. This candle has a signal, by the way, for a down trade, and a new candle will only appear in 20 seconds. And so a new signal can only appear together with a new candle. It has the greatest strength in the very first minute after the signal appears. So I can check how the indicator is currently working on the chart. How? Well, we see that previously there was an uptrade signal and next to that signal is a green candle. That means a signal appeared and a minute after the signal appeared, the price rose. That's why the candle is green. This signal closed with a profit. The last signal was for a downtrade. We see that it appeared and in a minute the price went up. So this signal ended in a loss. So I'm checking the last 10 signals. And in order to work with the chart, I need it to be, well, at least 8 out of 10 signals closed in profit. And if I see such a situation, I understand that the indicator is working quite well now. If suddenly I see that half of the recent signals closed in loss, then in that case I might change the chart. I don't need to change the currency pair. I can simply open the same currency pair just from another quote provider. So right now, you can see that I have one chart open for the euro-dollar currency pair from one quote provider. Here, you can see 5,100 signals and this kind of win rate. Now I will open this same currency pair, but from another quotes provider, and here we see that the number of signals is about the same, but the win rate is a couple of % higher. Checking how the last signals closed. The last signals closed perfectly, so I can stay right here on this chart. I haven't changed the currency pair itself. In other words, I only changed the quote provider. You see, for the human eye, the changes in these quotes are not noticeable, but for the indicator, they can play a significant role. Now I am adding a second indicator to the chart. It's an auxiliary indicator. It simply draws a channel where the price is currently located, and this is how it looks. So, as soon as I added this indicator to the chart, a channel immediately appeared, and it's instantly visible where it is, in which direction the price is moving, and in what corridor it is. I added all the necessary tools, set everything up. I use the standard indicator settings. I just add them, set the main 1-minute candle time frame on TradingView, and that's it, I'm ready to work. Now I move on to the actual working process. For this, I open the broker's website and start by choosing the chart I will work with. Opening the asset selection menu. I only work with currency pairs, and it's crucial that there is no OTC mark next to the currency pair. And now I see that there are a large number of currency pairs without the OTC mark. And here is the euro-dollar. I have this chart open right now. I can stay on it. Plus, I have the same chart open on the TradingView website. That's it. I've opened euro-dollar on the broker. I've opened euro-dollar on TradingView. Here, I entered euro-dollar and opened accordingly the chart. So how do I work now? All signals have loaded for me, and first and foremost, I pay attention to the signal indicator. I have two options for working. The first work option, I'm just waiting for a new signal to appear. So I've opened the chart, and I'm sitting, waiting for a new signal. The problem is that signals don't come often. Sometimes you can wait for several minutes. Therefore, there is a second work option. I enter trades based on the last signal if the signal strength remains. How does it work? I see the last signal was a down trade. To enter a down trade on the last signal, two conditions must be met. First condition, we need to be above the lower boundary of the channel. That is, it's important that we don't break through it. And second, the SAR indicator needs to show a downward movement. In such a case, I enter a down trade. Right now, for example, I see that we are much higher than the lower boundary of the channel. That's first. And second, the SAR indicator is drawing dots above the chart. This means that the downward movement is continuing. Therefore, I entered a down trade. If I see a new signal appear here, I don't check any indicators. I just enter the trade based on the signal. If there is no signal, then I pay attention to two auxiliary indicators. Accordingly, if the last signal was not for a down trade but for an up trade, then to enter the trade, I need to mirror these conditions. That is, firstly, I need the SAR indicator to show that the price is going up. Secondly, on TradingView, we need to be below the upper boundary of the channel. Only then can I enter on the last uptrade signal. That's the logic I follow. Right now, I'm waiting for the last trade to close. I didn't make the best entry into the trade, meaning at the lower part of the chart, and so now I have a loss. What do I do in this case? I simply double the amount of the trade, and in the next trade, I'll enter with the doubled amount. I see that not much has changed, so I can continue to enter down trades. That is, the SAR indicator is still showing a downward movement, and on the chart on TradingView, we have not yet reached the lower boundary of the channel. It is still a long way to that boundary. Plus, the most important thing is that no new signals have appeared on TradingView. So I'm entering based on the last down signal. Now, regarding balance distribution and why I went in with a doubled amount. In general, I use one simple rule. For opening the very first trade, I don't use an amount that exceeds 1% of my balance. That means I opened my first trade with $400. So I opened it, and we see that it closed with a loss. This is also a normal part of my work. It happens quite often. That's why I calmly accept when some of my trades close at a loss. What do I do if my trade ends in a loss? In that case, I simply cover it with double the amount. So right now, I opened a trade for $800. If this trade ends up in profit, which it did, then I have recovered the loss from the previous trade and even earned a bit extra. Now I can go back to the amount of $400. If this trade had ended in a loss, I would have simply opened the next one with a doubled amount. That means I would have used $1,600. And I would keep doubling until my trade closes in profit. Consequently, the last double down trade covers all my previous losing trades and I end up with a net profit. Since my trade closed in profit, I simply return $400. Well, you can see that nothing changed on TradingView, so I can open another down trade. I enter a $400 down trade for 1 minute, just like that. Regarding working from various devices, I can work not only from a computer, but I can do the same from my phone. So, what do I need to do? I also open the broker's website in one tab, and in the second tab, I open TradingView. By the way, TradingView also has a mobile app, but I haven't used it. However, in theory, it has all the same functions, and maybe even the mobile app could be more convenient. But I just opened the broker's website on one tab on my mobile device. On the second tab, I open TradingView, add indicators, and start working, not forgetting to set the 1 minute candle time frame on TradingView. And here, set the 30-second candle time frame and add the SAR indicator to the chart. So from here, I start working, but now using my phone. And here we see that my second trade closes with a profit right away. So there's no point in doubling up. And if anything happens, I can continue my trading session now because there are still about 20 minutes left until the news comes out. Well, this is the strategy I use. I've been using it for quite a while and it works well. I hope you found some useful tools for yourself in this video. If so, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like. For me, this is the best gratitude from you, as I don't have any paid courses or closed Telegram channels. The best gratitude from you is simply your activity. I will be immensely grateful for it. Also, I remind you that on my channel, all I do is share my personal experience. I do not give financial advice. I'll say goodbye for now. See you.